So guys, as Ray and I are bringing you these shows, as you know, this is just the highlight version of what's on our podcast. So please make sure to check out our podcast. Our podcast and the show is proudly brought to you by the Kingfisher. The Kingfisher has 6 stores, Ray.
That is correct.
We've got 6 stores throughout our coastline. There's a couple stores heading up North Coast because that's where the fishing is this weekend. Go and pop in, whether you're in the Durban branch, pop in to say how's it to Ray and ask him what you need to get this weekend for the inedible action that's going to be on the bite. So guys, special thanks to the Kingfisher. Now let's kick off the show.
Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, it's Ray and Vinesh again. We are doing this week's report out of the Durban Skibo Club. Now we did this last week. Obviously our audio didn't work, so we assuming this time it is going to work because the reports over KZN this week has been pretty decent in some areas. However, what we do know, Ray, is that we need to head north.
That is correct. Definitely.
Yeah, so reports are the further north you go, the better it is. However, let's start off down the south coast. I fished the south coast last week. You
Yes.
fished the north coast. You obviously had a far better trip than I did.
Definitely did.
You can see some of this footage out of here, guys. But now, before that, down the south coast, what we were talking about is a lot of mixed bag of fish. Ray, I've heard the weather conditions has been on and off, dirty in
Correct.
certain areas, clean certain areas. But there's been shad. There's been a few non...
A lot of stone bream around as well.
Plenty,
a lot of rock
yeah.
cod. Lanterns have started pitching up, which is a good
Yeah.
sign. Other than that, we've had southwesterly now for the last 2 days. It's cleaned up the water in most places.
Yes, yeah.
We haven't had too much rain, so the rivers aren't flowing out too much. But anywhere that you can find a little bit of ginger beer water is definitely still my go-to plan if I was looking to go fishing. Other than nighttime fishing,
What would you target in that ginger beer water?
you get most of your inedibles. You know I'm an inedible man.
Of course. 100%. So there has been some sandies, I've heard.
There has been.
You know, speaking about inedibles down the south coast, Adam was telling me there's a lot of hammerheads right now.
That's correct.
But a lot of tiny hammerheads. I mean, he was telling me 30 centimeters,
Yeah.
40 centimeters.
Well, it's the time of the year that they drop. It's now basically midsummer, going into autumn. That's when those hammers start dropping their pups and that out in the deep. And of course, the little ones come in, dirtier water. They got more place to hide away from the bigger sharks. They're trying to eat them.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely coming closer.
All right.
Yeah, hammerheads definitely down the south coast, plenty.
Yeah.
There's been a few up at Umtanzini as well. I've got a couple fishing for the diamonds.
Is that a lot of more of the smaller ones as
The
well?
smaller ones, all small ones and that.
Okay.
But it's the time of the year that they do come. It's spawning time for the big females and that, the scallops.
Right. And then apart from that, down the south coast, Ray, I've heard there was a couple cob coming out.
Yes.
Small ones as well.
Everyone I've seen have been small.
Yeah, no, the guys did tell me there was a few small cobs, and that was around that Caribbean estate area,
Yeah,
around the river and things.
Umkamas as well, and
Yeah.
further south, Paisley, there were quite a few of those small little 1 kilo cobs.
Yeah.
There
right.
were, however, quite a lot of small cob or snapper salmon, that
Yes.
three-toothed cob up at Umtanzini. Lovely eating, nice round, fat, stocky ones.
Yeah.
They don't get too big, so definitely if you're fishing light tackle, North Coast again.
Yeah, North Coast is where it's happening, hence our title on the show. Now, moving further down, I didn't hear much out of Scott Butter. I definitely heard nothing out of your area in Warner Beach, Manson.
Warner's been quiet.
Yeah, the
Warner.
water hasn't been the best either.
Quality of the water is poo. I won't say why, but the quality of the
I think
water
we
is
can
not
assume
nice.
Why.
No, the water's not nice.
Yeah, in fact, Gary told me even in the river there has been a couple fish, but nothing crazy.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Mike Rogers did catch a couple of small cob drop shot fishing around the Lovo area and that Carradine area, and again, small cob.
Yeah. Okay. So lower south coast, mixed bag of fish. You will get edibles. You will get inedibles. A lot of smaller species, but it is alive. And then coming down Scopper or Warner Beach, not too much coming out of there.
Yeah.
Now I heard in Durban it's been quiet as well. Ray, what's going on this week?
Dead.
I know there were a couple
Absolutely
shout
dead.
out here at Eddington.
Water's too warm.
Very warm.
Water's too warm.
Boiling, yeah.
As you look at it, yeah, it's warm, it's clean, it's flat, it's poo.
Yeah.
So,
So-
not sewage poo, eh? Poo.
Well, yeah. So, Mike said he's heard of a couple of shad.
Yeah.
Very odd cob, nothing crazy. But now, speaking in Durban, offshore. I mean, look at this condition.
No, the
Ray.
guys are having fun out there.
I've never seen the ocean look so pancake.
Yeah,
It is
no, there's been a
absolutely
lot
fun.
of kuta in that, all
Yeah.
the way from the fence, which is down this side,
Yes.
all the way up to Umsloti and further north. There's a lot of kuta coming out,
Yeah.
a lot of snook,
Yeah.
and a lot of bonnies, especially off number one in that. And again, a lot of sharks everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
But they don't come in close enough for me to catch them.
Well, speaking about the sharks, I spoke to about 4 or 5 anglers this week. They told me if they hooked onto 12 kuta, they only got 2 out because of the amount of sharks out there. Guys, it's been a shark fest out of Durban waters. Well, I mean, I guess that's what they're
Out at sea,
Yeah.
not in here.
No, not in here, but if you're fishing closer in, the guys have been fishing in the shallows, and Brad tells me the bottom fishing has been quite good. There's been a couple beck that's been on the bite, a couple of the rockard and that kind of species.
Yeah.
And if you're fishing off Durban Harbour, well, lots of grunter. I don't know, how is the sizes?
Yeah, the Walla Walla seem to have disappeared here, which is quite a nice thing. The water's not right in the harbour as well.
Yeah.
There's something in that water. It's like a light Coca-Cola color, and there's not too much on the North Pier, South Pier side of it that's coming out there. That's why those Walla Walla have disappeared once again.
All right.
Other than that, there's been those little kingies on the drop shot. There's been some.
That's been a lot of fun.
yeah.
Any springer you heard of?
No, I haven't heard of any springer, but there are sea parks still on South Pier.
Okay.
There's a little sprinkling of sprats off the end of South Pier there, and that seems to have those sea park around. But you got to put a lot of time in to catch them.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So now that rounds off South Coast and Durban. Moving up the North Coast, well, we've got some visuals of what the conditions are like from Martin. So that's being played out right now.
Good day, Venetian all anglers. This is a live broadcast from Sheffield Beach, well-known spot called Christmas Bay. As you can see, the tide is a bit high, swell is quite high, but the water is pretty clean. A little bit of sand in front. Yeah, the odd 1 or 2 bronze beam coming out here. Obviously your shad, which is a common, and then 1, 2 kabelio further down towards it, or turn the manamouth, pardon me. But yeah, that's your sea conditions for this week. Martin, Kwacha, over and out.
And then I got a report from Jesse. Now this is where things start cooking. Right, North Coast is happening.
Definitely.
We've got a mixed bag of edibles. In fact, starting off with those edibles, we thought it was a bit early for the bronze bream. Turns out someone comes into the shop the other day, catches a 2.5 kilo. We thought it was a once-off. And then he comes in the next day, buying more traces because he's got another couple of them.
Yeah.
So bronze bream, I think it's a bit early.
It's very early and the water's
Yeah.
warm. They shouldn't be around.
But they are around. So there's been some bronze bream. I heard there's been a lot of shad, starting from Tonga, La Mercy, those areas, moving right up.
That's why the
Yeah.
diamonds are up north. That northeasterly's been blowing, like I said last week. Unfortunately, you didn't get to hear about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the northeasterly last week was absolutely knockout. Created that big, what's the name of cold water that came in, and that's why the guys were catching those fish. But with this westerly that we've had for 2 days, it's warmed the water up. Those fish are now going to move out a bit more. So again, you're back to fishing for kingfish, little snapper salmon, as you're going up north.
All right, so the further north, the better we're going to get.
Definitely.
I heard in Tugela there were a couple of boats that came out, up to 10 that came out.
Yes. That was on Saturday.
Yes, yeah. So the triple tail is on the bite, which is good. There's been a bit of cob that's in that Tugela area as well. So, pardon the birds, guys.
The birds are putting their 5 cents in there too.
Yeah, so
See.
put up a bird report out there. And then moving further, so you smashed them at
Mtanzini on Saturday was a knockout at second stream. It was a very small patch of cold water that we found earlier on, and on that seems to be the thing. On the pushing tide, the water seems to be getting colder. On the dropping tide, it seems to be getting warmer.
Right.
So that's just something to think about when you choose to go and fish. And looking forward to the weather, Saturday coming up is looking very tasty for up that side as well.
Okay.
As far as the northeasties goes, it starts today, the northeasterly up there.
Yeah.
And that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But it doesn't blow hard. So you're going to be a mixed bag there again. You're going to get more sandies, honeycombs appearing, but the diamonds will be around.
Now, will this be the same for Richards Bay, St. Lucia?
Definitely,
All right.
definitely. And
Awesome.
the further north you go, the more the northeasterly blows. So Sodwana and that should have a lot more sand sharks, honeycombs appearing
Yeah.
compared to Umtanzini, which has more diamonds.
Okay, now I've been getting more of the offshore news. Well, obviously, Ray's got the rock and surf side. On your offshore side, guys, there's been a lot of kuta, Ray. And
Yeah,
nice
but
sizes,
look
25
at what's
kgs.
happening here. Just turn that camera around
Yeah, let's
and look at
focus
the
around.
boat. Look at those boats. That tells you a lot. When you see so many boats out there, and it's a pit of the trailers that are parked on the beach. At the moment, I can count 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7 boats just here in the launch site that are coming in, going out. There's a paddler over there. There's another paddler there. And down the bottom, there's like 3 or 4 paddlers. So there's definitely
Yes.
something happening here in the Durban area, as you can see. Nice flat conditions, clean water. And of course, the ski boat guys love the clean water for the kuta fishing and the snook fishing.
Yeah, so it's definitely
No, it's happening.
That's the season.
It's happening.
Yeah, of course.
Starting.
There were a couple Dorado.
Yes.
There were a couple tuna as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so offshore is definitely the place to be. Now that rounds off our saltwater side. On the freshwater side, Albert Falls did get a few bass. Hazelmere has been doing quite well with bass from what I've heard. Ray, what did you hear on the freshwater?
Stackfontein at the moment on fire.
Yeah.
If you want to go and catch
And it's going
yellowfish.
to happen this weekend as well.
Definitely, those slabs of gold are there just waiting for you to throw a little fly at them.
Yeah,
Just obviously handle with care. You know, our South
Absolutely.
African fish. That should, as far as I'm concerned, as far as freshwater fish goes, is definitely the fish to fish for.
Right.
That should be our national fish, by the way.
really.
In my opinion. Yeah, those things are lovely. Those little slabs
Do
of
you think
gold.
they'll still be going on that dry flies?
Definitely, without a doubt. They will eat
Alright.
dry flies early in the morning when the wind picks up and that.
Yeah.
You're going to get that scum line. You just throw your dry fly in there and you just drift it all the way down.
Yeah.
If it blows too hard and becomes too rough, then just use a sinking line or intermediate line and put a little flashback nymph on.
Oh,
You'll still
fantastic.
catch them.
Okay.
And there's a lot of carp around at the moment
Yeah.
up there that are spawning.
All right.
And of course, there's some big barbel moving around for those guys who want to go and throw a chicken at them.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Chicken livers. Yeah,
I
barbel
meant,
is.
I meant a chicken fly, by the way.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, we know the guys that fish with the other
Half a
stuff.
chicken.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of fish up there at
No, it
Stackies at the
is.
moment.
Yeah.
That's the place to
You
be.
know, so it has been hot conditions at the dams. The guys are fishing the early mornings, they fish in the late afternoons. Because during the day, Ray, when it's like about 32 degrees,
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
hot.
absolute steam out there. So you'd rather carry a braai, sit under a tree, have your lunch, and then hit the afternoon session again.
Well, I tell you what, when we were at Umtanzini, and that's on the coast,
Oh, yeah,
on
can only
Saturday, it
imagine.
was 42 degrees
Yeah.
in Umtanzini. 42 degrees with a northeasterly blowing.
Mm,
It's amazing I don't look a little bit darker than what I am at the moment.
well,
Long
good thing I
sleeve
didn't
shirt,
come
you saw
with
that. Long sleeve shirt, sunglasses, and a big hat, but
Yeah.
and a lot of water. I promise you.
Absolutely, guys. In this heat, I mean, it is. We hit the peak of summer now.
Definitely.
Sun protection is imperative. You know, so pop into the Kingfisher. They got an amazing Daiwa range of apparel for you. Obviously, they've got the caps, they've got the shades, they've got you got sunscreen there, right?
Ah, definitely.
Yeah. So
Zero doom.
you know, wherever you are on the coastline, there's a Kingfisher store. So pop in, go and check out the guys and get kitted out. And well, not just with your tackle, like we're saying, with your sun protection is crucial at this time of the year. So Ray, to round off the show, predictions for this weekend.
Well, before we run off any show thing there, if you had to turn the camera around and show that how those people are getting burnt, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous, my friend. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm sure she wouldn't like us doing that. No. You get me into trouble.
Yeah,
No, you'll get me into trouble. No. Sorry,
Well,
it's a good view from here.
the bus is getting burnt.
Durban Ski Boat Club is a place to be, but
Yeah, this is Wednesday afternoon. It is beautiful out here, guys. I mean, the sea is stunning. This is why we come out during Ray's lunch break, obviously to have a conversation about the fishing. But you know what? Just to sit out here and look at the ocean,
awesome.
it's absolute paradise.
awesome.
You know, so Ray, round it off. Predictions for this weekend.
Okay, Saturday, late Saturday, Friday, definitely North Coast is the place to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, go to East London and get some reggies.
No, not all of us are going down to East London. This is the KZN report. You think Durban is still going to be pretty quiet this week?
I think so too.
Yeah.
No, I think so. It's all north, but everything's
Yeah.
happening north. You want to catch a fish? That's where you want to go.
Perfect way to round it off. Go north.
Go north.
All right, cool. Guys, until next week, I'll probably be back with Ray again. I think we're going to make this
Hopefully.
our usual segment where, you know, we just get together during his break and we talk fishing and we deliver that fishing report. So it's Vanessa Green, it's Ray Thompson, it's Angler News, and it's proudly brought to you by the Kingfisher.
100%.
Cool.
Here we go, guys.
See you guys.